Okay, so butter.
And you can help me with this. If you just want to put those shallots and onion in there, we're just going to leave the skin on. We're making a seasoned cream.
Okay, so you want flavor.
Crushed
3 black
pepper,
peppercorns crushed.
and a bay leaf and some fresh thyme.
I always break my bay leaves.
Okay, I like that.
And my thyme.
And we're going to season this and just kind of sweat it for a little bit.
And some celery.
Yes.
How many stalks? Like 2, 3?
Yeah, I call this celery cream, and it's just basically like a seasoned cream that's going to add a lot of flavor to the dish.
Okay, good.
And
so you add how much cream to this?
We're going to do about 2 cups.
Okay.
And I've got some ready over here.
Oh, all right.
I was prepared.
Okay.
So we're going to strain it here, and I've heard that you're really good at that, so I'm going to get
straining? Is that what you heard?
Yes. And I do want to talk about a little bit about green tomatoes. In the South, I know they're still in season. I don't know about up here, but before the first frost, a lot of the growers have to pull the tomatoes off the vine before they pull the plants up.
So those are the tomatoes we should be using.
Exactly, we should be using. It's our responsibility as...
and if you were smart, you would have saved some from your summer garden up north here, but you have to wrap them in newspaper and put them in the attic.
Oh, okay. We just put ours in the refrigerator.
Oh, and then one year I forgot.
Uh-oh.
And that was not a pretty sight. I had a lot of rotten green tomatoes up in the attic. Ugh, and it smelled so bad.
And we're going to use a mandolin to just thinly slice them.
Okay, and don't take your eyes off the mandolin, because we don't want any skin.
And this size is perfect. It's just super
nice
thin, and
yeah. And if you don't have one of those, you could do it by hand.
Exactly, you could just use a sharp knife.
So is that strained well enough?
That looks perfect.
Okay.
So the idea here is that we've layered them in the dish.
I'm tasting the cream.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Oh, it's extremely tasty.
Yeah, we actually do a dish at the restaurant where we take the cream and we put it over an egg and bake it and serve it with grilled bread.
Yum.
So the tomatoes need to be seasoned aggressively with salt and pepper.
Right.
And we're going to let it sit for a little while and let all the liquid come out. They're very acidic
and then
when they're unripe.
Pour that off?
We are. I'm going to demo that for you here. This has been sitting for a while.
Oh, so you put another dish on top like that?
Yeah, because you need to hold the shape so you don't mess up
so I'll do that for
all your
tomorrow.
work. And there's a lot of liquid that comes off.
It's like eggplant.
Yeah.
Well, it's a nightshade, isn't it?
It is.
Tomatoes are nightshades.
They're very, very acidic, so they can really take all the salt, they can take the cream, and they still come off tangy at the end. So.
Wow, that's a lot of water.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and someone on your crew suggested making Bloody Marys with that.
Let me taste.
I thought it was a good idea.
It doesn't taste very good.
Okay.
Bad idea.
No, wait, hold on. We're actually going to do the breadcrumbs first.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why is because we want to.
They want them to
get soggy with that flavored cream, and that's what makes it so special. So, and I don't really use any butter except for at the bottom of the pan, just to make.
So are you going to make this for your brother's house?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. This is. I think this needs to be a new tradition.
Yes. So much I should pour.
Go ahead, and just we want to coat the crumbs evenly, and so they all get a little wet.
Yes, you're
and we may not need all the cream, but we'll kind of judge it and see.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll use it all. Why not?
All the way around the edge. Oh.
And that's going to be baked at 325
for
about an hour.
No cheese in this because you've already put the cheese in the other thing.
Yeah, this doesn't really need any cheese. You'll see when you taste it. It's kind of good, just simple and hardly anything in there.
When I said that, I meant the other chef.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
Chris is a great guy. Chris. His food looked really good.
Okay, and so we serve some. Can I have a taste?
Yeah, we're just going to do a little bit of fresh thyme leaves on there right when it comes out of the oven, so they're still bright green and the oils are released. And yeah, take a little taste. Hey, listen to that crunch. It sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah. So how long?
About an hour. It's slow and low until they,
Scalloped tomatoes.
Yeah, look at that.
That's for you.
Thank you.
And for me. Now, plain old French bread or white bread?
I just use baguette, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And day old is always good, too.
That really smells delicious. I'll have to remember this dish next year. I will, indeed. Hosting breakfast or brunch is just one of my favorite ways of entertaining. Lately, I've been experimenting with a new kind of baked egg dish. It's called a strata. It's a one-dish egg casserole that combines layers of cheese, vegetables, meat, and beautiful day-old bread. And the best part of it is that it can be prepared the night before, refrigerated, and then put in the oven before your guests arrive. It's very tasty. So this is a day-old Italian country loaf. We got this at one of our favorite bakers here in New York City. But many people are making this kind of very airy bread. It's moist inside and very hard, crusty on the outside. This makes a delicious strata. And we're including in this particular strata Vidalia onions. And they've developed an international reputation as one of the world's sweetest onions. This is a Vidalia onion. It's grown in one of 20 counties in Georgia. The flavor is due to a unique combination of soil and climate that's found in that part of Georgia. Approximately 225 growers cultivate these Vidalia onions on over 14,000 acres. And due to the introduction of controlled atmosphere storage, Vidalia onions are available all the way through December. And we have 3 tablespoons of butter melting. To that, we're going to add that 1 onion. And so saute this. So white and so sweet, and you don't cry when you cut it up. Okay, so we're gonna bring that up. We have 10 eggs, 10 whole eggs, and this is the custard mix. 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of Parmesan. I'm gonna just break up the yolks. The custard is milk, eggs, cheese, and flavoring. Add 3 cups of whole milk. 1 cup of Parmesan cheese, finely grated. And the garlic, you can add it raw or you can add it to your onions. I like adding it to the onions just to cook it a little bit. And you can sprinkle this with a little bit of salt and freshly ground black pepper. Get the juices running from these onions. They're very fragrant. And we have some thyme, 2 teaspoons of fresh thyme leaves. The onions take about 15 minutes. I think we are ready to get our big casserole dish and show you how to layer this beautiful strata. So now we're putting together the strata. It's a simple process of taking the bread and shingling it. It's like putting a roof on a house. You're just layering cheese, speck. This is the speck, this wonderful smoky ham, and onions. These are the onions. Look how caramelized they've become. And just put the onions in between each layer. And then just keep going the whole way before you add your lovely custard. Make sure you use everything up pretty evenly. And the beauty of this is that you can make this last night, refrigerate it, and have it ready for breakfast the next day. This would be very delicious served with a green salad. A spinach salad would be nice. And now once it's layered, you pour your custard over the entire thing. The bread will, in the next 2 hours, soak up all this custard, and then you will be ready to bake these layers of delicious flavor-infused day-old bread. So cover this with a big sheet of plastic wrap and put in the refrigerator and let it rest. So after 2 hours in the fridge, you can see that the bread has plumped up. The strata is ready to bake. In a piece of foil lined with parchment, just spray the parchment a little bit with nonstick spray. Cover. I don't like to put aluminum on my food, so I always line my aluminum with parchment paper. And tuck this under. Make sure your oven has been preheated to 325 degrees and bake this covered for 1 whole hour, then uncover and bake for about 20 minutes more until the top is golden brown and crusty. You'll see. I find it's best to cut the strata with a knife because the crusts are really crusty. even though the bread is soft and fluffy. This looks so good. Very delectable. And then just spoon it out on your serving plate. Wouldn't this be great with a really pretty green salad? I like to top it off with a little bit of fresh parsley and another piece. So gather up your favorite ingredients, your favorite cheeses. Goat cheese would be delicious. Prosciutto ham instead of speck. So this one's for me. So gather your favorite ingredients, create your own strata. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode of Martha Bakes. We're going to make mashed potato gratin to go with the pork. So I find that peeling nice big Idaho potatoes and steaming them keeps them very dry instead of wet, you know, when you boil them in water. So I think this is a very nice way to cook potatoes. So do about 3 pounds of Idahos or russets, and they have a nice texture and a nice flavor, and just steam these in a double boiler. Well, it's not exactly, it's a steamer pot, really. They have holes in the bottom. Great. So these are done, I think, yes. So you can throw those in there.
Done been steamed.
Smell okay?
They smell great.
Yeah, okay. So now you can mash. There's the masher.
Yeah. This is what
That's a very small masher. Do we have a bigger masher, Nikki?
No, it's not the size of the masher, it's how you use it.
Okay.
You just get up here.
All right.
Mash with that. Be
Fine
effective.
with me.
Thorough.
Yes.
Yeah, get in there.
And I'll add the butter. Oh, that's a bigger one.
I was going to suggest that.
You could try that one if you like a bigger one. What do you think?
We're doing fine with
this.
Okay.
A
little butter.
Keep going. Yeah, the butter will make it a little bit easier to mash, probably.
Me the butter.
And how's that smell? That smells good, right?
It's getting better all the time. Better with butter.
So,
note to self, remember that. It's better
now,
with butter.
where did you grow up in Ohio?
I grew up in Ohio, yeah, in a small town in Ohio called
And you always knew you wanted to be an actor?
Always knew it.
So you were voted, we did a little research on this guy, and keep mashing, don't stop.
I'm mashing. I'll get my workout up here. Cranking and mashing.
Voted the biggest flirt. Were you?
There were only like 3 girls at my school. It wasn't that hard, you know? Flirted with all of them, and they called it.
And now we're going to add some Gruyere cheese.
And this is, I was wondering what kind that was. That's the Gruyere.
Yeah, you can do cheddar if you like cheddar better, or, and then 1 1/4 cups of milk. Keep going.
What kind of milk?
Are you getting tired?
Not at all. I'm just, notice how I'm rotating the bowl to keep it kind of,
fantastic. Did somebody tell you to do that, or you just do that naturally?
No, this is how you do concrete. You got to do the same thing. You got to keep it moving around. It's like mixing mortar. It's going to taste a lot better.
I'm telling you, you could have a really good man's cooking show.
No cheese.
You're gonna invade Emerald's territory.
I think he's safe. Currently.
Okay, and then 3 egg yolks. Okay.
Yes, like in Rocky. I was going to drink those like in Rocky. They look like a shot glass full of egg yolks. Oh.
That I would not like.
But it would be good for you.
No, it's not that great.
When you fight like a
raw
champ.
egg yolks,
Right.
yeah. Okay, keep mashing. No lumps. We're not allowed to have a lump left.
Lumpless.
But if you did this in a blender or in a food processor, it would make it. It wouldn't be the right texture.
But you'd be cheating.
No. It makes it starchy. So it's much better to do it by hand like this. This is a good mashed potato.
Thanks. It's my first.
See, it is?
Yeah.
It is not.
It is by hand, it is.
Really?
Yeah.
So how do you usually do it? In a mixer?
I don't. Nobody will let me close to the kitchen except me. My mom never would. You know, get out. I'm cooking.
So off camera, what do you do?
Clean up from the other times I was cooking. No, you know what
do you have any hobbies? And what do you do with your kids?
I've been getting back to the woodworking lately. For a lot of time, you know, when my kids were small, I didn't have any time to do anything. But
so you were a woodworker?
Yeah, like to make stuff.
We just had the woodworking show last week. If I had known, we would have invited you.
Who books these things?
Oh my God!
Somebody.
What do you make? What do you
Call
make?
me.
What do you make?
You know, for Christmas, I made some of the gifts that I gave to the kids and some friends of mine, just little framed pieces of artwork, stuff that I like. But I like
so you make the frames?
Make frames, cabinetry.
You do?
Nothing big.
Yeah. Did you build a kitchen ever, or?
No, but you know, when I was in shop class, and we used to have shop class when I was in school, they made us build an absolute correct miniature house. You have to build a foundation and the frames and all that stuff. So they taught everybody in my shop class how to build a house from the ground up. They don't do that anymore.
I know, but wasn't that a great thing? I took shop.
Did you?
Yeah, I loved it.
And obviously you did well in home ec.
Yeah, I had home ec.
You can do all this and swing a hammer? That's impressive.
Very much so. So now a little bit of Gruyere on top. Put this in the oven 400 degrees until, you don't have to.
Oh,
We already
I
have
got the
one.
oven right here.
Okay, if it's not on. We're just showing how to do all that. So put that in a 400-degree oven until the cheese is melted and it's warm through and through, hot through and through, and that's about 30 minutes. So look what we have.
Ooh.
So you can have your beer.
Gee,
Do you want a sandwich or do you want it on the side?
Oh, on the side.
On the
little
side.
bread in one hand, pork in one hand, and I know what those are.
Oh, collards.
Yeah.
Yes. So those are really good. Those are cooked, braised collards. I love those. With a little bit of lemon zest and lemon juice in there.
Well, you ought to try them with some bacon fat.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
that
Yeah, you
is
said
good.
everything had bacon in your house.
Yeah, you got to have bacon fat in there. You gotta
And
throw
these
it
are,
in.
oh, here's your mashed potatoes that you just mashed.
Hey, thanks.
Like that.
Well, I'm still
And the
sore.
roll, here, they're still sore.
Now I'm in good
Oops,
shape.
that's yours.
That's mine. Thank you.
Yes.
Will you be joining me?
I'm definitely
Table
going
for
to.
one? Is it rude if I start?
I'm going to, yeah, start. Tell
right, I'm
me,
gonna
tell
come over
me,
here.
what do you think? Tell me what you think of the potatoes. Or,
I'll eat
okay.
that.
The meat first, okay.
Oh, that's good.
Good.
I would eat that.
And you would eat it. You're going to eat it.
I am eating it with the whole plate.
We're going to make a delicious Sunday supper, shepherd's pie with rutabaga topping. Now, do you know what a rutabaga is?
Yes,
Yes.
Martha. It's a pinkish.
Something.
No, I'm thinking of a rhubarb. I
Oh.
don't know what a rutabaga is.
I didn't mean to stump you. I thought
No, I
rutabagas.
just am so ready.
Oh, I know.
I just come and I try to
She
be
is the
prepared.
greatest student, and she is prepared. She buys the cookbooks before she comes. She cooks from the. What did you just make from the new
I
cookbook?
made the roasted chicken breast with potatoes, kind of the most
delish.
homey. I'm in a sublet apartment here for a few months, and Ben was here, and I just wanted it to smell like our own food.
Did he like
and-
it?
Of course.
Oh, of
I mean,
course.
come on.
That's good.
You got
That's
to play the
nice.
wife every now and then.
Oh, yes. But no, rutabagas are, they think, a cross between a cabbage and a turnip. A cross. And it's a large, orangey, yellow root, grows with big leaves.
Is it sweet?
Well, it's sweet when you cook it, not
Okay.
before you cook it. But it is a hard winter vegetable, and usually you buy it in the grocery store, and it's all waxed on the outside, so you have to make sure you peel it well and cook it well, but it mashes up great, like mashed potatoes.
Oh, good.
Only
I'm
very
so glad to
delicious
know
for you.
about them.
So now, let's see, this is the bag. We have already started to brown the meat, and we're using chuck in this recipe, and this is generally, shepherd's pie was a really peasant dish when they used leftovers. Whatever meat was
Just
left
toss
over
it
from the
in.
roasted fire in probably Ireland or who knows where, they would toss it all into a dish, mix it up with vegetables, and then put whatever potatoes, leftover potatoes on the top, mashed, sliced, whatever. So that's really a shepherd's pie. So generally made with beef or lamb, sometimes minced, sometimes big pieces like this.
Why chuck?
Well, it's just tasty, and we decided to make it rather than with lamb with beef today. So you could put the browned meat, brown the meat really well in a heavy-bottomed saucepan like this, and just throw it in. We're browning onions now, 2 pounds of chuck, 2 medium onions chopped. So you can put that browned meat into here. I'm going to make a bouquet garni. Again. People get a little bit confused about a bouquet garni. What is it? It's really just a little.
How do you pronounce it?
A little
I've never
sachet,
known.
a little sachet of herbs. So there's thyme, there's rosemary, there can be parsley, there's celery, there's garlic, and some bay leaves. You can put peppercorns if you like. But this
Martha?
is just a little fragrant packet.
I
Yes.
have a question. If you don't have the whole cheese
Cloth
cloth
thing.
out, and if you're just making it, is it okay to just put it in?
Well, yeah, but then you're going to have to pick out. You don't want people to get big bay leaves to chew on because they're
Good
not,
point,
you
good
know, they're
point.
not
I
really
take it
edible.
back. I'll
No,
have
no,
the
you
cheese
can.
back.
You can absolutely sprinkle these things in there, but when you're serving, this just makes it easier to extricate these things from the cooked dish. So this gets tied up, and we just want it to all stay in here. And you just put this right in. You can add the wine. There's 2 cups of dry red wine, and this should be on high now.
It's too early to sample
start
that,
drinking
but,
that, yeah.
Unfortunately, because I'm sure it's a fine red wine that
Oh,
you would also
We
serve.
have to add. We forgot to add the flour. It's my fault. But we can add that now. Don't worry about
We'll
it.
just stir,
Yeah,
so we
stir.
don't
Yeah,
want
we
any
don't want
lumps.
lumps, right?
No,
And
just
by the
kind
time
of-
it cooks in an hour, this should be on the meat and the onions without the wine. So it's going to thicken. The little bit of 2 tablespoons of flour, all-purpose flour, just going to thicken the gravy. And now we can add also 1 cup of beef stock. This can be low sodium that you buy. It can be homemade beef stock. And put your little bouquet garni. That's French for a little gathering of a little bouquet, okay? Garnish, but really a flavoring. And you bring this to a boil, cover it, and cook until the meat is tender. That's going to take anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. And
do you leave it boiling?
Yeah, well, it simmers.
Simmers.
Yeah, reduce it to a simmer. Now, look what we have here. A beautiful, the liquid has thickened and reduced. It really looks delicious, and it smells really good. So you see how easy it is to take the bouquet out?
Yeah.
Okay, so take this out. I like to squeeze off the juices. This has a lot of juice in it. And this can just be discarded.
Everyone
There.
at rehearsal, I'm rehearsing a play right now.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
It's one of
You
my
have to
favorite
come.
plays.
Promise me you'll come.
So
As my
Cyrano de
guest.
Bergerac.
Yeah, Cyrano de Bergerac with Kevin Kline.
Oh.
And Kevin said that shepherd's pie is his favorite, and since he's
we
my
will-
leading man, I have to.
Okay, we will send a shepherd's
Okay.
pie from here to there
Okay.
today with you.
Okay.
And I love Kevin Kline.
Oh,
how is
he's
it? How is it doing
amazing.
live theater for you?
It
Is this your first?
The most terrifying thing.
I would
It's
think
like
so.
The scariest thing I've ever done in my life, but the most. It's every day is either agony or ecstasy. You leave thinking this is the best thing I've ever done, or you leave thinking how do I get out of this? I'm going to embarrass myself.
How does Kevin look?
He looks great. Well, he has a big nose
Yeah,
these
proboscis,
days.
his
Yeah.
proboscis. How
But
long
he-
does it take him to get that proboscis on?
He does it for rehearsal, so we can get used to seeing him with it, and
Do you
he
have
can
to
get
kiss
used
him?
to the feel of it.
She's Roxanne in the play.
Yes, I do kiss him once, and it's kind of, we always joke like, okay, here I come. But he is just one of those actors that can be funny or he can be dramatic. He just can do everything.
Oh, he's an amazing
Yeah.
actor. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we're going to finish making our shepherd's pie. Cook this with the carrots for 30 minutes. Well, we're back with a very talented Jennifer Garner, and she's showing us all her cooking skills today.
Yes.
And we're almost done making a delicious shepherd's pie with a rutabaga topping. We're now going to do the rutabaga topping, but I just wanted to remind everybody that this recipe is from the new Martha Stewart Living Original Classics Cookbook. You might have already gotten this book, but this one now has photographs in it, gorgeous colored photographs. Did you get this book yet?
Yes.
Oh,
of course.
good. Oh, good. And the second volume of all the new collected recipes is coming out. Actually, I saw the finished book yesterday.
That
I'm
must
so
be
excited.
so exciting.
Everyone in the audience is getting a copy to take home. The rutabagas. Okay, here is a rutabaga.
Oh, that's what this
See?
is.
Generally, you will get this. These are fresh, but generally in the wintertime, they're called just winter vegetable roots, and these are waxed for preservation, and they'll stay, a month or two in your larder. If you have a larder. Do you have a larder?
No, ma'am.
Oh, do you have a pantry?
Barely. I would like a pantry.
Do you have a root cellar?
Yes, I have
Okay.
a big root cellar and a tornado cellar.
Well, anyway, so if you're, so these are cooked, and we've cooked Yukon Gold potatoes with the rutabagas. So they're 4 Yukon Gold potatoes, these nice little golden, bright yellow. They're really wonderful. That's what they look like when they're cooked. I love them. And 3 pounds of rutabaga. Bring to a boil, simmer until tender. That's going to take at least 30 or 40 minutes. And so now we're going to put these. Now, there's a variety of ways to mash. You can mash with the old-fashioned potato masher, and you can do this, and it'll give a more coarse topping, so that way. Or you can put them through a food mill, like you're going to do, Jennifer.
Which you feel like you need to have a master's in geometry to put one of these
I
together.
know. But once
yes.
you get it together,
Yes.
it works.
Yes.
Now, you can add a little liquid if you want. It gets it through faster, just a little bit, just to wet it.
Good to know.
And so we're adding 2 cups of milk and 2 tablespoons of butter melted in the milk. So watch out for your beautiful satin top.
Yeah, well,
Okay?
what do you do?
I worry about it.
Yeah.
I don't want you to ruin that beautiful top. And this is my favorite of all. This is the wonderful ricer. Now watch this, Jennifer. You just push this. You can use all your brute strength and see how it
that's
comes
cool.
out.
Yeah.
It's instant mashed anything. I love ricers. And see, it comes out looking sort of like rice.
Yeah. Is it
but
softer than this?
No,
than the food mill?
no,
same kind of
it's-
same,
it's-
but without this?
It's easier.
That one's... Why is that food mill sticking so much?
Because this always happens to me. It's me, it's not the mill.
No, it should have a little rest. But here, just rest it down and then push. Go
I
backwards.
wish I got the
Go backwards.
ricer.
Go backwards.
Okay.
And now go forward.
Okay.
Yeah. See? Just...
Don't worry. Keep going. Talk amongst yourselves.
Dum-da-dum-dum. Okay, so we're going to do this. Now, tell me about this important campaign that you're involved in.
Oh, I am
Kitchen help, Nikki.
It's okay. I joined the Faces of Influenza, the American Lung Association, as part of the Faces of Influenza because it actually started because.
But influenza is the flu that we may get this winter.
It's the flu shot, basically.
Okay.
I'm here to say, get a flu shot.
Yeah.
Because during Alias, I couldn't get sick. If they lost me, it was a big deal. So they insisted that I get a flu shot every year, and I was always just completely immune. You know, while everyone was dropping like flies, I would be there at work by myself, like holding up the fort. But because of that, I started to realize that I didn't know that you could go to the hospital for the flu. I didn't know that people died from the flu, and it just made me more and more aware of how you have to know these things to become the advocate for you and your family's health. So I broke the whole thing. I was trying to not draw attention. Let's.
Oh dear. So here now, I want you to use your strength to mash.
Okay, I'll mash so happily.
Mash.
Okay, but anyway, so I'm just saying, please ask your doctor about the flu shot for yourself, for your family members. 2 out of 3 people should have flu shots and don't get them. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, keep mashing. That's good. So you can mash. These turnips are slightly undercooked. The rutabagas, I think they should be a little tiny bit softer.
Yeah.
And so we're struggling away. Do you have some nice mashed turnips in there for us so that we don't have to...
We can do it, Martha. We can do it.
Well, we only have 30 seconds.
Oh.
You know about timing.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. There. You're doing a good job.
Yeah, you're doing a good
job. Okay. And, there's another ricer. But when you're buying ricers, always look for ricers that have the holes on the side, too. Then it comes out in 3 different directions. Much better. And pour the milk in. You can add that to this. And even a little bit more butter to thicken it up.
Always more butter.
Yeah. So do you have to, for the play, what's your costume?
Oh, they are so heavenly. They're so dramatic and over the top. They're just these like... 17th century French things that
So you're
never
doing
stop.
it in period.
Yeah, but it's
good.
not like you're going to school when you watch it. It definitely has a very contemporary feel to it, just because the play is timeless.
Right. Oh, fantastic.
There's nothing like seeing live theater, right, Martha?
Well, would you rather do a play now that you're into the rehearsals or a movie?
I would like to do a play, but get paid like a movie.
Which doesn't quite happen, right?
Yeah,
so,
not really.
I'm adding some rosemary to the topping, salt and pepper, and make it very flavorful because the topping should be as good as what's underneath.
It looks like it's going to be delicious.
Oh,
and then you smash it on top of here?
Well, don't smash it. Just gently spoon it. Just gently. You know, these action stars smashing. Oh my gosh! Well, I still want to know how you get into shape. You have to come back and tell us all that. Maybe do us one of your physical workout things.
That is a great idea.
Oh my gosh!
We should train together.
Oh, I wish. I wish.
I could teach you something, Martha.
I bet you could. I don't know if I would last more than a half an hour with you. But anyway, once this is all laid on, dot with little tiny pieces of cold butter, put into a 350 oven, and bake for 1 hour. And this is what it looks like. Would you like a little taste?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, here, we'll get you a little bit. It is very delicious. Here, I'll get you one little piece of carrot.
I had no idea.
That is a shepherd's pie.
Welcome, shepherd's pie.
And you can take the rest to Kevin, because I really like him and I really admire his work, too. And good luck with the play. I will see you. And good luck with the new movie, The Kingdom. It's in theaters now. Thank you so much. Great. How do we make this? A lot of cream?
Yeah, a lot of cream, and it's a very simple recipe. The good news is it won't take any time to get this going. So we'll get it started, and we're going to add essentially the cream.
4 cups.
4 cups.
1 quart.
Exactly. Could you add the cauliflower?
Heavy cream. But it's Thanksgiving. And cauliflower goes well with cream.
And then we've got about...
no, wait a minute. I just want to point out purple cauliflower florets. the yellow cauliflower florets, and the regular store-bought white cauliflower. You get these other colors sometimes in the supermarket.
You can find them sometimes in the supermarket.
In the farmers markets.
And the farmers markets around, and they're heirloom varieties, and they're fabulous. They're a little richer flavor, and they're just certainly more.
I love cooking those different colors.
I do too.
Sometimes for lunch, I just steam a head. And just
little
eat
olive
that.
oil, little
I
lemon.
I don't even put olive oil on it,
Really?
just salt and pepper. And it's so good. It's really good.
Now, I understand you're a chestnut fan like I am.
I love chestnuts. And so these come from your friend's farm?
Yeah, Fran and Bill Goodrich grow these for us on their farm. They're so dear friends, and they've been providing us chestnuts forever.
Now, you just make that little X in them?
Make an X, and then roast them for about 10 minutes in 400-degree oven. You can see how they split, and you peeled it just like that.
No, these are very tender.
They are. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Nice.
Oh, my God.
So these are not the imported kind?
No, and it's just such a richer, better quality chestnut. See how sweet that is?
And
really beautiful.
Next year, I am going to beat my squirrels to my chestnuts.
Good luck with that.
They all fell this year. There were so many chestnuts on the trees. They all fell down one night. The next morning, they were all gone.
Yeah.
Not the ones from the shrub chestnuts, which are inedible. They were there.
Right.
But the trees, all gone.
Yeah, not surprising. You got to compete with the wildlife, but that's a good thing. They need theirs. Now, at this point, we'll cook this down for 10 or 12 minutes, and we're going to remove the cauliflower. We're going to do that now. So we've done that. And the idea here is you want to cook it long enough to where it's tender, but not yet falling apart. So we're going to go ahead and remove it, okay? And then at that point, we're going to let it cool just a smidge. And we're going to go over here. This will reduce for about, 15 minutes or so. Okay. And then once it's reduced...
So simmer the cream until it's all reduced. I'm going to get all this cauliflower out.
Okay, good.
You do the next step.
Yeah. All right, at this point, what we're going to do is actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to add once that's done, you get that out.
Okay. Add the cheese?
Add the cheese and the thyme.
Oh, before it's reduced?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay, now you can throw the cream in. There.
Beautiful.
Excellent. How much Parmesan?
That was 3/4 of a cup.
Okay.
Now, at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to take the cauliflower, we're going to add it back to the reduced cream over here.
Oh, okay.
All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to taste it to make sure we're okay with salt and pepper. Beautiful.
Yep.
Okay.
So how long have you had the restaurant?
15 years.
So, 15 years, because you have been, you were in many wonderful restaurants, I've read.
Oh, yeah. I've worked with Bradley Ogden. He's one of my dear friends. I love Brad.
Oh, I met him when he first had his restaurant in that hotel.
Yes, Campton Place in San Francisco.
Oh, my gosh.
A lot of fun.
Oh, fantastic.
He was the darling for a long time.
Well, yes.
If you wouldn't mind, here's what we're going to do at this point. We're going to spoon the cauliflower and cream and Parmesan mixture into the gratins, and we're going to top it with about a couple tablespoons or so
of herby
buttery breadcrumbs. And
okay,
while you're doing
and lots
that,
of different fresh herbs.
Really
Again, the
delicious.
recipe's on our website. So I think for your family members, a little bit different dish this year would be this gratin. This is really special.
And really, after this, it's simple. Into a 400-degree oven, bake it just long enough where it starts to bubble and get golden brown. 4 to 5 minutes,
done.
And you're done. And that's
here
it.
they are.
And look, beautiful.
Yep.
Not bad, huh?
And very beautiful. That's a generous serving size.
It is. That's probably a little
too
rich.
big, yeah.
That's maybe that's enough for 2.
I could eat 2 of these. This is a delicious casserole. I have already gotten to taste this one.
Yes.
And I'm very glad that you brought it. And Mary's mom is sitting right in the front row. Yay. Nice to see you. Very nice, and the recipe is very delicious.
Oh, good, thank you.
Very delicious. Now, did you make a lot of different casseroles for that giant family?
Oh, yes.
What other ones besides this?
Well, we made a lot of scalloped potatoes and ham, especially after we used a ham, and chili relleno casserole, broccoli with croutons.
Oh.
Chicken noodle, tuna rice.
Did you make turkey tetrazzini?
I did once, yes.
Yeah. They didn't like it?
Yeah, it just got kind of filed in the back of the list and forgotten.
It wasn't the family favorite. Well, Jeanette, thank you. We're going to let Mary show me how to make your casserole. Okay.
Oh, good. Thank you.
So you start with what?
6 bone-in, skin-on chicken breasts.
Chicken breast.
Half chicken breast.
Okay.
We're going to season it with salt and pepper.
Okay. Generously.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're going to bake this, right?
We're going to bake it at 400 degrees for about an hour after you, we're going to wrap it in parchment and foil.
Okay, so this whole thing about parchment, don't cook in the aluminum foil. So always line it with parchment paper, okay. And then make an envelope, right?
Yes.
Okay, and seal it up tight.
Oh yeah, this is going to be good. And so the juices, you want to reserve the juices once you roast it?
That's why we bake it like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, so how long?
We bake it for about an hour at 400 degrees.
Okay, that'll go into the oven.
Yes, and then when you bring it out of the oven, we have the reserved juices right here.
Oh, so
you're going to pour those into the bowl.
Nice. So you get about a little more than a half a cup of juice.
Yes, and then with the chicken, you're going to remove it from the bone, chop it up. We have that
Shred
over
it?
here. Yes,
Okay.
shred it as much
Yeah.
as possible. And then into the bowl
So
with...
it makes a lot. Look at it. It makes a whole lot, a whole big bowl full.
There's 9 people.
Okay, that's right.
in the family. So with the reserved juices, you're going to add a half a cup of salsa.
Oh, so that's homemade salsa?
Yes.
Oh, yum. So did you have a lot of Mexican food growing up?
We had a ton. Growing up in San Diego, it was
okay.
kind of
Yeah.
just what we all liked. And then we're going to add the cream of mushroom soup, can of cream of condensed mushroom soup, and the cream of chicken soup. We always used Campbell's.
I wonder if Jeanette, would you leave the bowl like that?
No, never.
You would use a rubber scraper, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know what? Waste not, want not,
Yeah,
Mary.
I know.
You are the young generation that something's wrong with you guys.
I'm a mess.
Something's wrong. Here, rubber scraper.
What is this?
What is this? Yes. See?
Yes, so we get every last drop of
Yes.
soup out
Everything.
of your Campbell's soup
What's the
can.
yellow stuff?
That's the cream of chicken soup.
Oh, I never saw that.
It's delicious. You probably made it fresh from your...
Never saw cream of chicken soup in my life. Out of a can?
Yeah, they actually make soup in a can.
Okay.
It's bananas. Okay,
Cream
and
of
then
but I didn't know it was that color. Interesting.
I know. Then we take
Cream
out
of mushroom I've seen,
yes,
but I never tasted.
cream. It's right here.
I know, but I
You can even take this home with you today. And then a medium onion, finely chopped.
I bet my mother snuck stuff like this into our
She'd
food.
had to have.
I bet she did.
She did.
But she never told us.
No.
Everything was from the garden. Everything was from scratch.
There's a lot of things our mothers don't tell us.
Yes.
It's better that way. Okay, and then we mix it. I'm using a wooden spoon. You can use the whisk. You're probably a better whisker than I am. I'm more of a stirrer.
So we'll take this over here, but you're going to have to save this because I know you're going to use it again.
It's a possibility. So this is going to be the sauce for the casserole.
Oh, okay.
And you're just going to put a small layer.
Do you taste it?
You can.
You have to.
Absolutely.
Pretty good.
Okay. Good. You're just going to put a light coating on the bottom of your pan. This is a 9 by 13 inch.
Jeanette, did you always taste everything no matter what?
Yes, but a lot of them don't like to know that. They're afraid I dip the spoon twice.
Your own family? Oh, no. No.
So the reason I like it is when we were kids, it's easy to help because it's just layering.
Yeah.
So the next thing you do is we cut tortillas.
Now, did your mother make the tortillas from scratch?
Yes.
Did you make them from scratch?
No.
No. See, she'll tell the truth.
You have one daughter. She had 7 children. She didn't have time to make tortillas.
Oh, I love making tortillas.
So you just kind of throw them all over the place. And then you do the chicken.
My mother did not make the tortillas from scratch. In fact, I don't think my mother ever served a tortilla in our house. We didn't have tacos or anything like that. All the things we were dreaming about, we never got to have.
It's East Coast, West Coast.
I know, it certainly is.
Chicken, then we have mushrooms.
Oh, just raw mushrooms, sliced.
Yeah.
1 pound of sliced button mushrooms.
So you're pretty much just taking half
So
of
you
all
could
the
use
ingredients.
wild mushrooms if you wanted, but, right?
Yeah.
Could
Yeah.
you use wild mushrooms or?
I'd be afraid to use wild mushrooms because I don't know how to identify them.
No, the ones you buy. The ones you buy.
Oh.
Like
well,
shiitakes and stuff like
oh,
that.
yeah, they were too expensive for us when
Right, see?
kids were
Okay,
growing
well,
up.
see, that's. Now what? Ooh.
Sour cream.
I love sour cream. See, we had a lot of sour cream in our family because that was very Polish. Okay.
Sour cream. And then cheese is the next layer.
What kind?
We used grated cheddar. You can do a Monterey Jack and cheddar mix if you want. And then you just put the cheese on, and then you go through the next layer.
So you do the whole thing over
All
again.
over again,
The
all the
juice
same
again.
steps.
And what do you end with? Cheese.
Cheese on top. Then you
Okay.
cover it and you refrigerate it for 24 hours or overnight. We usually just did it overnight. And then you bake it at 300 degrees for an hour until the cheese gets
All the
nice
ingredients
and bubbly.
really tasty, really good, and that's why the end result looks like this. Now that looks like at least enough for 9 people,
At
right?
least. You and I can finish it off. I'm
So
sure.
there's a picture. Did we show the picture already of the family?
don't
Can
know.
just show that picture. Look. Now there's Jeanette. Jeanette somehow is the smallest member of the family, and everyone else towers over her. And Mary says, as the 7th child, that she had to eat really, really fast.
Yes. We had to eat as fast as we could or you didn't get seconds.
Because
all that would be left would be vegetables.
Oh, and heaven forbid, right? Oh my gosh, I have to taste this.
It's delicious.
This looks really tasty. Oh, yum. Really good. Mary, thank you very much. That was fabulous. We'll be right back with more of our special recipes from my talented staff. So you're going to make a root vegetable casserole.
That's right.
A gratin.
Gratin.
Okay. So, and you have a lot of different vegetables here. Celery root?
Celery root, just some potato. We've got parsnips, beets, potatoes. Basically, whatever
Sweet
you see at the
potatoes.
store that looks good to you, you can
Yeah.
grab. As long as you cut all the vegetables evenly, it'll cook evenly.
Okay. Even thickness.
Even thickness,
'cause
exactly.
Yeah, and these look great. And you're using a mandolin.
I like to use a mandolin.
Yeah.
So like with the potato, the only thing you have to worry about with the mandolin, it's a razor sharp blade. So.
I have a giant parsnip over here. Oh, I love parsnip. It smells so good.
So good.
So you could do a parsnip. A parsnip can also slice on there easily?
Absolutely, or
Okay.
you can do it by
Okay,
hand.
try that.
Yeah, so we're gonna
Yeah, it's doing well.
just hold it evenly, and you know, you kind of got to get through the skinny part
Because
first.
it's a hard root, and each of them beets too. Beets don't have to be red, and I think for this kind of gratin, you wouldn't want to use a red beet. It would stain everything.
It will definitely bleed. So if you are going to use red beet, I wouldn't do more than just a really thin
Bottom
layer at the
layer,
bottom.
yeah.
And that way the red won't penetrate down through all
Right.
the other vegetables.
So start layering for us and show us how you do. Oh, by the way, if you don't know celery root, here is a nice nobbin.
yeah, that thing's
Boy,
great.
that could kill somebody. this weighs more than a softball, but it's about the same size, right, as a softball?
That looks about softball
Here, catch,
size.
Joey. Heavy, right?
So
Give it back.
we spray the bottom of the pan with a little bit of nonstick spray and then just a little bit of salt and pepper.
Okay.
And then I like to shingle
But
it.
you could
want it
also
to look
butter
nice.
it, right?
You could butter it,
Are we
certainly.
using any butter in this?
We're not using any butter in this, but we are using some cream and cheese.
Oh, okay.
Every
So,
layer
okay.
gets a little bit of salt and pepper, just
Okay.
enough to kind of sprinkle on each piece.
You can also put a little thyme in there if you'd like.
Absolutely.
You know, like
Fresh
little thyme
herbs.
leaves
You can
or
add other
parsley
vegetables
leaves.
too. You could
So
put
should we- what's
mushrooms.
next?
So we want a little bit of cheese
Oh, Parmesan
on
cheese.
each layer as well. And then we just go on to the
Okay.
beets.
Okay, and just keep layering.
Keep layering it, just shingle it, make it look like the roof of your house.
So pretty.
Yeah, and these layers will show up once you cut it. Once you slice into it, it's a real crowd pleaser
Yeah.
because there's all these colors going on.
Beautiful. So you all get the idea.
So salt and pepper on each layer, a little bit of cheese. We've got 3 cups of Parmesan here. About 2 cups go into the interior, and then we're going to save a cup for the last
So
layer.
what's your best advice for hosting Thanksgiving Day dinner?
I've got a few pointers. One is you want to get some things started ahead of time.
Oh, this is so pretty. Now,
Yeah.
all the rest of the cheese goes on top?
All the rest of the cheese is going to go
Wow,
on top.
okay.
We're going to get a nice golden brown crust with
And
that.
what do we do with the few little leftovers? Just leave them?
We'll leave them. You know,
Okay.
we could have tucked them in.
Yeah.
So I have 2
Okay.
cups of cream here.
Oh.
We're going to do this before the cheese. We don't
this
want the
is
cheese
the
to.
secret. So this
Yeah.
is more like a scalloped root vegetable.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's just a wonderful, wonderful dish, and very rich.
Boy, very rich.
It smells
no
so good in the
wonder
oven.
people are going to keep coming back for more.
We're going to cook this at 350 for 45 minutes to an hour. You want to test it with a knife because depending on how fresh the root vegetables are, some
I'm
may
just pushing
take a
you
little
over.
bit
I
longer.
keep pushing them over, right?
Let's do it.
I want to taste this. Look how pretty this looks.
So you got to make sure to
Make sure it's cooked.
you want to tent it with foil, and
Okay.
then once it cooks for those 45 minutes, you want to take it out, take off the foil, put it back in at 425 just to brown the top here.
Okay.
And,
now, do you think this should have cooked a little longer because
This,
it's a little
yeah,
wet?
I'm not sure how long this was in the oven, but I like to
It's a little wet.
cook it the day before, and
Let
then
it soaks up
let
the
it
rest of the
set,
cream.
and then when you can cut it the next day, and it's just perfect.
Today, Mark's going to show us how to fry zucchini, how to fry eggplant. And you're slicing the zucchini a little less than a quarter of an inch
Yeah,
thick.
you know, I'm trying to make it easier for everyone.
Right.
Cooking at home myself, I realized, hey, I got to make
Now,
it
you
easier.
have 2 kids now?
two little boys.
How
They're
old?
6 and 3.
Oh, they're growing up, aren't they?
Double in trouble, we call them.
That's nice.
Well, let's start with the eggplant.
Okay.
Because, you know, we salted that ahead of time.
Let's show that because
right?
people don't understand what that means. And why do you salt?
Well, you see all the seeds? It's bitter. And we want to get all the bitter water out. And really, the way in which to test a great restaurant is the eggplant. Eggplant should be soft. It should have that soft, like caviar effect. And a lot of restaurants don't.
So you have what kind of oil in here?
That's olive oil.
So all of this eggplant here was cooked in this pan, and there's nothing burned. There's almost the same amount of oil that was there before,
right?
Which is a good sign. It's not all in the eggplant. And the eggplant is soft and creamy, and you know what? Really delicious.
Oh, it's my favorite. You know, there's more to a stove than on and off. And it's just, you know, controlling temperature is a very important part of cooking. So let's get these going. Yeah. Let's try the back one.
Oh, this one was a little hotter, I think. Yeah. Yeah, see, that one's not hot enough yet.
We'll get it going.
This one I got up a little bit.
But that's what's good. I mean, we're controlling the temperature. It's better to wait a minute or two for the oil to get hot than to wait for it to cool down. Because we don't want the flour to burn.
No egg, no breading, no breadcrumbs.
Too heavy.
I agree.
Okay,
so turn it after it colors?
Yeah, let it get golden brown, as they say. And, you know, again, the great thing about this gratin is this is the one cooked item that you could serve hot around all of the other cold dishes.
So this is looking very nice.
Yeah.
So here's your eggplant.
Perfect.
Here's your zucchini.
Great. Okay. So we're making this with a jarred sauce.
Is this Campagna sauce?
This is Campagna's jarred sauce, but one of the other reasons I'm doing it is because, you know, it cuts down a little time. If you have a good jarred sauce that you like, it's perfect to use it on dishes like this. So we put a little sauce in the bottom. You know, it's kind of the same way in baking where you oil the pan so nothing sticks. And we just start by...
Which sauce is this?
This is grandma's sauce. Everyone always says, lasagna alla nonna, is it your grandmother's? Not exactly. My grandmother made stuffed cabbage.
Yeah, Mark, by the way, is not Italian, which is very interesting. And what made you get into Italian cooking?
Well, you know, I have classical cooking training. I worked in Europe. And then, you know, you kind of try to get into what America's into. And America got much more into Italian cooking in the mid-'80s because it was healthier. So then we're going to sprinkle the zucchini around. Make it nice, layered. And then a little bit of cream. One of my favorite jars. I love these bottles. Just a little salt, a little black pepper, and some of this beautiful herbes de Provence. My favorite.
So you don't mind using dried herbs?
You know, this whole thing about fresh is better. In certain ones, as you know, it is. But in oregano and thyme, when dried, it gets kind of mellow and gives a nice flavor. So a little cheese, a little more tomato sauce. There we go. And we're going to start the process again.
That looks so good. It's more like a lasagna, eggplant lasagna, than it is a gratin, really. Now, what kind of cheese is that?
This is the American Gruyere.
Oh, what do you think? Isn't it great?
I love it.
So I think these in the back are done, Mark.
Yeah, I think we have enough. Let me just put a little more of the zucchini in. We can save those chips for ourselves to eat while we're waiting.
Okay, well, I'll just put those over here.
And then we're going to top it off, and this is important. See, so we put the jarred sauce, a little more of the cream, not a lot, just to want to make it a little pink. And then mix it around a little bit.
So that's really what it's doing, is making it pink, isn't it, the cream?
And, you know, the cream helps the cheese and kind of helps it make a nice little gratin. So just moving it around, covering it. That's a pretty color, actually.
It's lovely. Now, the oven is preheated to what temperature?
350. We're keeping it consistent. And then the beautiful Gruyere cheese that's been grated. Around it. Gruyere gives a great flavor.
I love it. I love it melted. I love it in omelets. I love it on grilled cheese sandwiches. It's the best.
This is what it looks like. It looks pretty already. And what I love is this dish. These are my favorite. This is, I think, Italian as well, right? Okay.
Anything else?
No, we're going to put it right in. Slow oven, and we can watch it, because really everything's cooked.
So that's going to take about 30 minutes, just until the eggplant is covered with melted cheese.
Yes.